Imagine standing on a planet where, in every direction you look, all you see is water. North, south, east, west, just an endless ocean stretching to the horizon. There's no land, no continents, no mountains. And beneath your feet, the ocean goes down not hundreds of meters, like on Earth, but thousands of kilometers. Down into crushing darkness, into pressure so extreme that water stops behaving like water. These aren't science fiction. These planets exist. They are called ocean worlds, and they are among the strangest places in the universe. On Earth, water covers about 70% of the surface. But we have continents, mountains, and dry land. Ocean worlds don't. They are 100% water, from pole to pole, from the surface down to the core, just water. How does this happen? Ocean worlds typically form beyond the frost line in their solar systems. This is the distance from a star where it's cold enough for water to freeze. Beyond this line, planets form with enormous amounts of water ice, born as silent, frozen worlds. But sometimes, these planets migrate inward, pulled by the gravity of other planets or their star. As they get closer to their sun, they warm up, the ice melts, and the planet transforms into an ocean world, covered in liquid water kilometers deep. The first suspected ocean world we discovered is GJ 1214b, a super-Earth orbiting a red dwarf star about 40 light-years away. It's roughly 2.5 times the size of Earth, but much less dense. This suggests it isn't made of rock alone. Instead, it likely has a thick layer of water surrounding a rocky core. GJ 1214b orbits extremely close to its star, completing a full circle every 38 hours. The surface temperature is estimated to be around 280 degrees Celsius. That's far too hot for liquid water as we know it. But at those temperatures and pressures, water enters a supercritical state, not quite liquid, not quite gas. It's a fluid that behaves unlike anything we experience on Earth. Beneath that supercritical ocean, as the pressure increases, the water transforms into exotic forms of ice. Yes, ice, but not the kind you know. On Earth, ice floats because it's less dense than liquid water. But under extreme pressure, water molecules are forced into tighter, more compact structures. This creates different types of ice: Ice 7, Ice X, Ice She. These forms of ice can exist at temperatures far above the normal freezing point of water. They are literally hot ice solid, yet heated to hundreds of degrees. At the bottom of an ocean world, thousands of kilometers down, there might be a layer of these exotic ices separating the ocean from the rocky core, a barrier between liquid and stone. Now, let's consider what life might be like on such a world, if it exists at all. On Earth, most ocean life depends on sunlight. Phytoplankton near the surface photosynthesize, forming the base of the food chain. But on an ocean world with no land and no shallow regions, sunlight only penetrates the top layers. Below that, it is eternally dark. Any life there would need another source of energy. Here on Earth, we have deep-sea ecosystems powered by hydrothermal vents. Volcanic activity on the ocean floor releases heat and chemicals, which bacteria consume in a process called chemosynthesis. Other organisms then feed on these bacteria, creating an entire ecosystem independent of sunlight. The same could happen on an ocean world. If the rocky core is geologically active and has undersea volcanoes, then hydrothermal vents could exist, and life could thrive there, in total darkness, miles below the surface, never knowing a sky. But here's a haunting question. Could intelligent life evolve in such an environment. On Earth, intelligence evolved on land. It required fire, tools, and technology. None of that is possible underwater. You can't create fire. You can't smelt metal. You can't build machines. An ocean world could trap any life, no matter how intelligent, at a primitive level. They might have language, culture, and society, but they could never build cities or develop technology. They could never leave their world. They would be prisoners of the ocean forever. There's another, darker possibility. What if an ocean world once had land? What if continents existed and life evolved there? But over time, the planet's orbit shifted, moving it closer to its star. The ice caps melted, and sea levels rose higher and higher, until the oceans swallowed everything. Every mountain, every island, every last refuge gone, submerged beneath a global flood. And the civilizations that once thrived on the surface drowned. Their cities now lie kilometers below, buried under the weight of an endless sea, ruined, forgotten, silent. Perhaps some life adapted, with descendants of land creatures learning to live underwater, evolving gills and bioluminescence, but they would remember. In their myths and legends, they would pass down stories of a time when the sky existed, when there was a surface, when the world was not just water, and they would know that their ancestors may have warmed their own planet too much, melting the ice and drowning their world. Sound familiar? Ocean worlds aren't rare. We've found several candidates, like Kepler 2b, Kepler 6e, and Kepler 6f, all potentially covered in deep oceans, all orbiting distant stars. Some might be frozen on the surface with subsurface oceans, like Jupiter's moon Europa or Saturn's Enceladus. Others might be entirely liquid, with open water under alien skies. If we could visit one, what would we see? The sky might be thick with clouds, fueling endless storms, driven by the star's heat. Lightning would crackle across the horizon. Waves the size of mountains, with no coastlines to break their power, would circle the planet forever, growing and crashing into each other. A chaotic, violent surface, and below, silence. The deeper you go, the quieter it gets. The pressure mounts, the light fades, until there is nothing but darkness and cold, or intense heat, depending on the depth. And somewhere, far below, lies the ocean floor if it exists at all. On some ocean worlds, the water might be so deep that it never reaches solid ground, just layers and layers of exotic ice. And beneath that, the core, a boundary no living thing could ever cross. In the end, ocean worlds force us to reconsider what we mean by habitable. We think of habitable planets as places like Earth, with land, air, and seasons. But the universe doesn't care about our definitions. An ocean world could support life, perhaps vast ecosystems thriving in the dark. It could host intelligent beings who will never see the stars, or it could be nothing at all, just water, endless, empty, silent water, drifting through space. A tomb disguised as a world. Thank you for diving into the abyss with us. Until next time, keep watching the dark.